I'm not your gossip girl, I'm the headline. Truth with a curve, baby, redefine. Welcome to the thirst trap. All the truth looks good in a tight wrap. We talk love, power, so let's in. Turn the world on, let the light in. Yeah, the thirst trap news. You'll drink it up, it's the real you. Paper China, first rose. Where every headline's a revelation.
Hi. Oh my gosh. So for the first time, I have butterflies starting a show. Oh, that's so funny. The chat started out. The live went live with so many people in it already. This week I have a video going viral. My account has now hit 1 million views. Yay! And I have a video going viral that's hitting like 500,000 views right now. And it is kind of crazy what's happening on there. Whoa. Oh my God. These freaking leftist people. Every time I come on, I feel like this is what I have to tell y'all. It's just every day I get more surprised than the day before with the things that these people say. Okay. So in this video, I was like, everybody knows that basketball court Obama built didn't cost $360+ million. And then I said, and he used taxpayer money. And then I said, Trump didn't use taxpayer money for his. And then I said, so fuck that guy. And everybody like lost their shit telling me two different quote unquote facts. Well, these are facts. That the basketball court itself didn't cost $365 million. Duh. Like anybody with a pulse can know that. And they were like, no, he didn't use taxpayer dollars and he got approval from Congress. It's a friggin' oxymoron. Yes, nobody heard me in that video say, we all know that court didn't cost that. And yeah, you all are right. He would have had to get congressional approval to use tax dollars. Here's the distinction. The president of the United States doesn't need an approval process to do renovations. However, there needs to be an approval process to use the purse strings of Congress to do so. You want to do it on your own dime? You don't have to ask anybody because you just fucking proved you earned the right to make that decision by becoming president. But because since taxpayer dollars are part of our funded pool, yeah, you would have to go and ask permission. So this is for all you fuckers calling me a liar. Pay close attention. Short videos are short videos for a reason. There's period, pauses, commas, and places your small little imaginations cannot seem to figure out. So yeah. Welcome to my show. Let's see who is here with me. Okay. John Swallows is back. Hello, gentlemen of culture. I like it. Yes, if you're here on my page, you have culture. Red Daywalker's here. Zabroff 29. Ryan. Todd. Ari Longbeard. Nice Viking name. The Liberty Eagle. What's up? Hey. Yes, Ari, you're from Texas. I lived there for like 1 year. Tyler. Let's see. I'm looking overtime sexy today. Oh, thank you. Rar. So beautiful. Thank you, Saren. Johnston Michael, you can stop the F word anytime. You sound very unprofessional. Hey, guess what? I don't fucking care. The Liberty Eagle. They are indoctrinated and don't know it. I know, and it's so sad. Do we have our first troll in my live chat? It's funny, Johnston Michael, last name first, how you place an order and tell me what to do on my own show instead of asking nicely. Being sweet, gets you really far with me. First timer. What's up, SEAL Team 6 Golf? Oh my gosh, we got a popping off live. I love it. I wish you guys had heard my rant to open up with. All right. Hope you're ready, folks. Oh, huh? So, yes, how the show works. Well, so, if you don't know what Thirst Trap News is, well, there's the obvious joke in it, but it is an ode to my run for Congress because the first thing they tried to do is try to make me look, like a hoe by sending the honey pots out and blah, blah, blah. So it's a beat 'em to the punch kind of thing. And also, it's fun to just be sassy and, we basically, production gives me videos that I haven't seen and I react to them live for you guys and give my commentary, opinions. I was going down a thing in my head about, I do have a psychology degree. I ran for Congress. I did so well in an open primary that meant that both the Democrats and the Republicans could vote in it. And oh my God, here comes a constitutionalist brown girl. Oh no, the Republicans were like, oh shit. So they cloned my campaign 2 months before the election and split my vote in half, which basically guaranteed that the incumbent would win. I'm still involved in politics, just behind the scenes. Vanilla asks me, am I Cuban? I am not Cuban. I'm Cuban by marriage. But I am not Hispanic, not a drop. Did I run as an independent? I ran as a constitutionalist on the Republican ticket. I am very hardcore patriotic. My dad is a 5th generation American. My mother is a legal immigrant from Trinidad. And I am super proud to be fucking born here. So, I protect the rights that my very wise mother sought out and was bestowed upon me by birth, and I am super proud to be an American. Okay, so that is the format of the show. Twice a month we do the Nightcap edition where I wear a lingerie and I share a little drinky drink and a smoky smoke with you guys. And last show was pretty fun. The boys in the chat got together and donated $200 for me to do the rest of the show in a bikini. So, that was cool. That was pretty fun. We paid down the cameras with that. So thank you, Charles. You were the best. And so I have a 19-year-old daughter who ran away from home who wants to be a man. So I talk a lot about the reality of trans and the reality of mental health stuff. So I don't do clinical psychology. I in my degree, so I don't practice professionally. I have my bachelor's and I'm going to school for finance right now. But my degree I did so well in it that they let me kind of customize my degree in my my junior and senior year. And so I specialize in research psychology, more specifically forensically. So I know how to set up experiments, do longitudinal studies, do short studies, write entire research papers, and develop research programs, acquire funding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so now what I do in order to cope with the tragedy of the woke mind virus dropping a bomb onto my house is I continue to use my voice because, hey, 22,000 people voted for me and trusted me with, their life for the next 2 years, hypothetically, should I had one. And, we got a primary coming up and just so many people are asking me to run. And it's just, I can see that my voice is needed. And so I keep it up and I choose to speak on these type of topics in this format so it can keep it lighthearted, fun, not boring, and super raw and honest. I don't do the buttoned up pearls and like tuxes and everything and ball gowns and all that stuff. I do I rode a motorcycle. I'm a bit of a rebel. So that's the whole format to everything. So I hope you enjoy the show for all of you new people. Okay, Tyler, cool. All right. So we are going to get into our first video. And it's going to be Bill Maher slams Islam. I forgot to go through, you know what? I forgot to go through my whole monologue, man. All right. The videos we have coming up for you is Bill Maher slams Islam. No food stamps. Fucks all of us. Muslim migrants and crime. Trump threatens Israel. Muslims against Mamdani. Trump talks shits on Mamdani. Digital ID still blows. No king protesters are stupid Nazis. You can't be black and MAGA. Y'all should check out the comments of my video about the ballroom and the basketball court. Those fuckers are the most racist people I've ever seen. Those liberals. Trump threatens Israel, but on video this time. Gender industry exposed. Part 1. Gender industry exposed. Empire Strikes Back. Part 2. Sharia law not compatible with the USA. The Girlhood podcast is for the boys. Cop shooting a motorcyclist who crashes on live TV. This dog don't like the decorations. Get your vagina mops ready. It's about to get wet. Incoming hard body, folks. And who says dogs are needy? All right. I hope I piqued your interest. All right. First video, Bill Maher slams Islam.
Only religion that acts like the mafia that will kill you if you say the wrong thing, draw the wrong picture, or write the wrong book.
So you do have,
there's a reason why Ayaan Hirsi Ali needs bodyguards 24/7. It's based on facts. I can show you a Pew poll of Egyptians. They are not outliers in the Muslim world that say like 90% of them believe death is the appropriate response to leaving the religion. If 90% of Brazilians thought that death was the appropriate response to leaving Catholicism, you would think it was a bigger deal. It's the only...
Man, if that ain't a cult, I don't know what is. I don't know if you've been noticing to the stuff I've been posting in my story and like I reshare a lot of people's posts. Like there's a full-blown Christian genocide happening around the world. It's been happening since I was very young, since I was like, I'm pretty much sure since like Desert Storm. But in the last 20 years, like over 120,000 Christians have been genocided in Africa and the lower Middle East, and nobody's talking about it. Why is it that every single year of my life, I am forced in some way to remember about the Holocaust and how terrible it was, about what happened to the Jews in World War II? But this is still happening to Christians. Like right now, present time, they started at Jesus and then they just kept going. And no one's allowed to talk about that. Yeah, see. It's just part of the plan. You have to suppress they're trying to get rid of Christianity, which would absolutely be catastrophic for the world, because it's literally the only religion that focuses on the condition of the heart, not acts of worship, like the first half of the Bible. They serve Yahweh. The Jews serve Yahweh. So that is a God that wants sacrifice and acts of worship, service. Jesus acquired his kingship, his godliness, and all he requires is that you have a pure and loving heart. What a tragedy this would be if they were actually able to make Christians go extinct. But I think everyone should be freaking hashtagging about this, because we're in a little encapsulated bubble over here in the United States, and everywhere else where there is Muslim law, the Christians are being slaughtered. So before I go on and on more about the Muslims, y'all do realize this EBT this government shutdown, okay? This EBT thing, this is gonna get way more worse than y'all think. No food stamps fucks all of us.
It's so clear that some of y'all have never ever been on food stamps before, and you don't know how it works. So you're saying, oh, all those welfare queens are gonna get exposed and my grocery bill's gonna go down. When in fact the exact opposite is going to happen if and when SNAP benefits are not put out into the world. Think about it this way. 1 in 6 people are on SNAP benefits. That money, when spent, gets spent in your local economy.
Hey, welcome Holly Moore in the chat. It's good to see you. I love your page. You're gorgeous and so adorable, and you make me giggle.
In your community. And if that money goes away, that money's not going to get spent in your community, and grocery stores are going to have to figure out how they're going to make up for that profit loss. In order to do that, they're going to pass it on to the customers who are coming in, who do have the money, which is going to see a 1 to 2% increase in your grocery bill. And groceries are already up over 3% since the start of this year. And I want to say 1 in 4 children are the recipients of SNAP and EBT benefits. And that money is going to do what? Go back into the general fund of the U.S. government to do with what they wish. But I can tell you one thing, it's not going to be going into your pocket. Your friends and neighbors not having enough money to buy food is not going to lower your grocery bill. They're trying to make you think that you, the average Joe who works 40 hours and somehow can still pay all their bills, they want to make you think that poor people are the problem, that queer people are the problem, that the immigrants are the problem, but it's not. It is a government who cares more about keeping more of our money than health.
What was the next part in the Bible prophecy? Famine. Okay, for the takedown of the king of the north. Famine. Oh, and you see AOC and Bernie Sanders backing Mamdani and all of this money from Soros going into Mamdani. Kind of funny timing, right when they plan to starve out everybody. People are going to be begging for free everything, and there's an easy deployment of socialistic life. You do realize under socialistic life also now you are determined what you're going to take in college, what trade you're going to go, whether you're part of high society, low society, like everything will be dictated for you. And this enrages me. My mom did not come here legally for all this shit just to come right over. I'm so angry.
Helping people who are suffering.
I think the video just restarted, but like you got to think. No, it didn't.
So
Okay.
yeah, keep getting hyped that, SNAP benefits, I don't take them, so it's not going to get, keep on shouting that. But then when your grocery bill goes up and you wonder why, I want you to come back and you want you to say, oh shit, you were right. If you have the means right now, please donate to your local food banks and start your mutual aid groups now, because a lot of people are going to need them going into the winter season. It is so clear that some of y'all have never ever been on food stamps
There it
before.
goes. Could you even imagine like just the crime is going to go up? Mental health. I mean, think how many single mamas there are with no daddy in the house with 4 or 5 kids and no way to feed these kids. Like, I bet you there's going to be a rise in like bathtub drownings. Like, it's a very realistic thing to think about how much bad can really actually come of this. Also, the money from the food stamps is not going back out into the economy. So there's that issue. My take on Bill Maher. Somebody asked that. Wish I could stick around. Someone said that where to go. Oh, Tyler Hammond. Wish I could keep watching. I'd love to hear your take on Bill Maher. I sent you a DM. Oh my gosh. So Bill Maher, I think, is like just one of those like common sense people. I don't think I'm gonna like anything or everything anyone says. Like I don't like everything Trump does, but overall, like I approve. A+, A-. Bill Maher, is like one of those guys, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I could trust him. If shit were to hit the fan, I know he's on like slightly different side of center, but I could trust him to like do the right thing because he's a reasonable human being. He's actually funny. He can be funny. But you know who actually really makes me laugh is the one that Bill Maher, Greg Stewart. What's his first name? What's Stewart? Something Stewart? John Stewart? No, he's that comedian. He's like, no. He's not Bill Maher. It's the one with the really pointy nose. You like him. He's like really funny. He leans over his desk and yells a lot. Oh. Stewart. I can't think of his name. Huh? No, he has a show and something Stewart. Is he a comedian? Yeah, he does. That's what I'm talking about. Oh my god. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Jeez. Okay. The next video: Muslim migrants and crime.
Muslim migrants are responsible for a disproportionate number of sex crimes, especially in European countries. Oh, yeah. And we see the tolerance for that, it seems to be lowering, which that part is good. Obviously, the crimes are not. Why do you think that there is disproportionate representation of Muslims when it comes to those kinds of crimes?
Well, okay, so if you go to the Islamic world, you're going to see the same kind of crimes being exacted against non-Muslims, Christian minorities, Hindus. You're going to see the same sorts of things because they're actually, again, they go back to the heart of Islam. You have it in the Quran where their God actually tells them you can not only can you have 4 wives, okay, polygamy, but you can have, it's called what your right hand possesses, which means any woman you conquer who's an
Yeah, you know how many child brides they have over there?
Infidel. The non-Muslim exists to be plundered, enslaved, killed. This is why the New World was found. All these sailors from Europe were going west because they couldn't go east because that was the Islamic world. And once you go there, you're dead. That's what prompted people sailing westward to try.
They will always murder Christians, people. Like, there's a reason why it's the way it is over there. It's just, come on. Hello.
Try to get around, the Islamic East.
Muslim migrants are responsible.
Holly brings up a point about Social Security. Ooh, that's a whole other show. I gotta add that to production to add that to videos to put to the list. Is Social Security and more finance stuff. Also, gold and silver too. I'd like to do some reaction videos on some finance things as well. So I know you guys that really are tuned in know that like something's up with Trump and like Israel, and you know, if you were a Trump supporter hardcore last cycle, seeing what's happening with Israel, especially with Charlie Kirk dying, it's kind of waking you up like what's happening with our government and Israel and what their whole actual agenda is, especially when you see videos of Bibi Netanyahu speaking in Hebrew, saying that they basically laughing and boasting about how they control American politics. But yet there was no freaking attempt to impeach anybody on behalf of Israel interfering with our elections ever at any point, only when it was Donald Trump. And the whole freaking Russia collusion thing was a hoax. This is actually real and actually goes on. And I think it's because of people like us, and I think Trump really is a populist, and I think he does watch the algorithm, and I think he does watch social media. He loves social media, and I think he's starting to see, like, the MAGA base is starting to have some factions. And if you're truly about America first, it means America first, not fucking Israel getting all of this money. Yes, we know they're at war, but I'm sorry, but it should be giving them basics if they need it. There's women, because it's war over there, having their entire pregnancies and raising their kids paid for by our American dollars, and also we keep giving them fucking weapons to bomb the Gazans. So there's like the faction that I'm in where I'm just kind of like defund Israel, like what are we doing? Because America first, then everybody else. So like let's if we're still super prosperous after we fix all of our own financial issues, then like we can worry about everybody else. But I understand that in wartime, like part of treaties is the fact that when your allies need aid, you send it, which is fine. And I agree with the fact that we should preserve our alliances. Of course, we should be making an enemy with Israel. But what we want is for Papa Trump to wake up to the fact that Israel is interfering with our politics and murdered someone that we loved very much over it. I think, my own personal opinion, that's who did it. But you know, whatevsies. So this video, it is a slide. Okay, Trump's threatening Israel. This is on the Tucker Carlson network, and it seems to me that Tucker is trying to put a little bit of distance between him and the conspiracy of Israel, and that he supports Israel, and that he's compromised thanks to Nick Fuentes coming out and saying that he's caught up in it and compromised by Israel. So I think Tucker's trying to start, like, I don't know. You know, I think he's Tucker, I think, is naive. Like, he can be very naive, and like I get it when you like, because he like likes everybody like right away, and then gets burned. And I can be like that, so I totally understand like how people could see how he's compromised. But you know, they say Donald Trump gives Israel a stern warning about possible. This is what he chooses to act tough with Israel over, but. Not discrediting the story, it's just we wish it was more over, like, you know, defunding Israel for bad behavior, like bombing them after we told them to stop, you know. But so Donald Trump gives Israel a stern warning. A possible alien spacecraft sets off alarm bells. This European Union may finally put its money where its mouth is, and police arrest an NBA coach over an alleged mafia-tied gambling ring. Today's Tucker, his network morning note has the details on all these stories and more. So, did you guys know everyone was going like blah 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 blah, alien 31 Atlas, blah blah blah, asteroid? My dad was tracking this thing freaking 20 years ago. Now it's starting to hit bigger mainstream journalists. They're starting to talk about this, and I think they've been letting info leak about aliens and the activity, you know, like the blob in the ocean, and just the different things that we've been watching. I think they've just kind of been allowing some of this, or I think we're just have group consciousness and we're manifesting fucking Armageddon of some sort because we're craving so much a solution to all this evil going on, and we all know that aliens have to be part of the mix, you know. But why do you have to use the F word? You don't have to listen to me talk. You can hit the X. You don't have to be on my live stream. Because I was raised by a pack of Vikings, okay? My family is Pictish. I was raised in the hills of the Appalachia. I grew up without a lot of fucking money. I had a lot of fucking work to do as a child. I grew up in a religious cult. I farmed land with a bunch of Scottish Scandinavian family. And I was the youngest one of all the cousins on that side with a 17-year gap, and they were all boys before me. So, you know, that Scottish, Pictish, you know, that Viking blood, it's just in me strong, man. And you're just gonna have to deal with the fact that I use fucking F-bomb sometimes. Thanks, Holly and John. That's what's up. For real though, the show's called Thirst Trap News. What did you expect? Like, seriously, this is a place to like let it all go. That's the point. It's to like fucking drop the fucking charade, drop the filters. When we're sitting around our living rooms, we're hanging out with our friends, we got the beer going and the fire pit going or the weed going. We're all saying the shit that I'm saying. So I don't even care. If it bothers you to hear a lady say the F word, tells me a lot about you, baby. Okay. Hi, Anthony. Nice to see you. All right. Next video. We got Muslims coming out against Mamdani, folks. I love it.
We are Muslims against Mamdani. Ask us why.
Why are you against Mamdani?
First of all, do you know that Mamdani is supporting decriminalization of prostitution?
No, we don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
Which is an NYC law that prostitution is not allowed.
Yeah.
And we are against it because every single religion of the world against prostitution creates morality issues. It brings a lot of disease. Do you want that?
No.
No.
That shouldn't be happening at all.
When there is prostitution, there is a human trafficking.
I had no idea.
When there is a human trafficking, there is a drug trafficking. Can you imagine what he's doing?
Honestly, I don't agree with it.
What made you want to do this type of thing?
Because he's Muslim and we are Muslim and we are saying you're doing a wrong thing. It's against the law, it's against the faith. And he's defunding the police.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So you're from New York, right?
Yeah.
As you know how much crime is going on.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have less police, do you feel safe at that time?
I don't think so.
Police working very bravely, very tirelessly for our community to keep us.
See, these people came over here the right way for a peaceful fucking life away from the extremist takeover that happened in their country. And I'm sure these people are so pissed because now it's coming right back in their house, quote unquote. And they probably love Trump because Trump is trying to freaking preserve the American fucking dream, our tradition, our legacy. This is not our Constitution. We want immigration. We want legal immigration. We're one of the few countries, I guess, where you don't have to have birth, like bloodline to the country. But he's here to preserve the tradition and the dream people are seeking. And that requires having a standard. And a standard that needs to be set in stone. And what stone would it be made out of for it to be permanent, indefinite, and stand the test of time? And it has to be based on faith. And I'm sorry, like, spirituality over religion is what the founding fathers were going for. They didn't say, oh, this Constitution is written like as Catholic, as Baptist, as Mormon, as Pentecostal. It was just written under Christ. And if you pay attention to Christ talks about the law of love and that he is the Son of God, being the manifestation of the all, the everything, the infinite, the divine. So clearly the all, the infinite God saw we had a love problem here. And Trump is desperately trying to preserve that concept, the law of love, because being born in America really is such a privilege. You are already ahead of the 8 ball, protected, and get to live a safe life on a certain level of safety, kind of 3 spaces ahead of the rest of the world because it was founded upon Christian belief system. That was why our society was so safe at one point, like circa the 50s. The 50s is a time of that I dream about. Honestly, I would love it. Oh, you don't go out of the house without your best on, you know, and just that dignity that's always out. Lady in the street with a freak in the bed, you know. Anyway, we're going to continue before I get on another Luna rant.
Safe. No need to give the salary to police. Why? There will be no jail. There will be no police. You just imagine.
I actually love your point because I didn't know that.
You can't give somebody like that power.
Zach, you guys are Muslims too, and you guys don't support him.
He's not Muslim.
Right.
He does not. He's self-proclaimed Hindu.
Whenever he goes to a mosque, he says, I'm a Muslim. Whenever he goes to a mandir, Hindu mandir, he says, my mother was Hindu. He is misleading people. Just want to get the vote.
He lies
See?
about everything, basically.
Yeah.
They say he's lying.
Propaganda, you see what I'm saying? man. They want to get the people riled up.
He's an American who hides behind the concept of a religion.
Yeah, correct. He's using it, everything.
He is the wrong person to be a mayor for this great city.
He can say many things, but actuality will not be able to establish fair policy.
If you're against Mondani, then who are you with?
I am voting for Cuomo.
Cuomo is all right, mayor.
I think we're all on the same page.
See, here's the problem now they're having, okay, because it's an open election, so they've got Slowell or Sewell, or I don't know how to say his last name, the Republican. Then you've got Cuomo, the actual Democrat, and then you've got Mamdani, who's a socialist on the Democrat ticket. Here's the problem. If you're in New York, if you know what's best, I know early voting's already started. I hate to say this, but I understand this because I ran for Congress. So a lot of you aren't going to like what I'm about to say right away, but just stick with me for 1 second. You got to understand something about now we're into the fact of math and human behavior. So if every vote for Solwell, or however you say his last name, Slewell, how do you say his name? Will literally thin out the vote for Cuomo so bad that it gives a vote to Mamdani. Okay, and let's be real, right now, if we lose New York to a full-blown socialist, that's horrible. So you better vote for Cuomo for now, to get this guy dead out of the water, Mamdani dead out of the water, because I wish you could vote for the Republican, but honestly, like, I've been watching his stuff and, you know, I don't know. You got to vote for Solwell or Cuomo or whatever, but problem is voting for Slewell or Solwell is it gives a vote to Mamdani. And here's the thing. That's what they did to me in my race, because when we were getting close to the end, the incumbent in Congress, John Rutherford, was like, oh shit, she actually really does stand a chance to fucking beat me. So what they did was they put a decoy in my race to clone my campaign. So every vote that went to her guaranteed that the incumbent stayed in office. So honestly, we need Eric Adams to come back, and he needs to stay there. But he doesn't want to be in office, so I get it. That's a spiritual decision. But, you know, when that other girl, Mara Macy, entered my race, fully funded by these two whores, Lisa and Angelica, everyone was so angry with those two women because they were like, you fucked us. You guaranteed the incumbent just won. You should have stayed put with Luna. And that's how this kind of stuff works. These women were incredibly jealous of me, and they work for Undercover, the incumbent. And I hope to run into these two women. And I know they're watching my fucking show because they're fucking obsessed with me. And they made a claim that I, quote unquote, lost $30,000, and I want them to come say that to my fucking face on camera, live streamed, because I can't wait to fucking show those bitches up to their faces in public, because my fucking congressional FEC records are on public record. You can see what happens with every red cent. So, you know, it was just one of those things where there was these two women in the GOP that just really were threatened by me, and were like, had this love-hate relationship for me. They knew they should love me, but they, on a primal level, just couldn't stand me. They put Mara in because they had a personal vendetta, and they had a lot of means to do it, and just completely screwed our party. And they really have been doing some interesting antics ever since this race. But I've just been kind of sitting in the background watching all this drama go down at the local GOP here. And it has been juicy. All right. What would happen if Cuomo dropped out? If Cuomo dropped out, that means that Mamdani wins, because he won the primary. So, Cuomo's being backed. He's backing himself, him and his own personal donors, and the actual Democratic Party is putting their money into Mamdani because he won the primary. So if Cuomo dropped out, it would be the vote between Slewell and Mamdani, but the problem is there's not enough Republican voters, I don't think, in New York City. Sexy and balding. I'm going bald young. Should I shave it off? I don't know. It depends on your face. If you have a beautiful face, sure, shave it off. If you're not in shape and you got some work to do or whatever, if you're like a 5 or a 6, I don't know. I would look into getting transplants because they're so good these days. Like, they don't look fake anymore. It doesn't look like doll hair. And if you can go to Turkey and get it done for like 75% less and actually have a vacation there while you're at it. Women actually do care. No, we don't care if a man has hair transplants. No, as long as it doesn't look like a hair hat. You know, I wouldn't. I don't know. Some men look really sexy with a bald head, like thick down, and then others just are not. Most men do not look attractive with a bald head. So it's just like, yeah, you just kind of have to have that really, you know, alpha man look, you know, or be in shape. All right. Oh, we got to finish this video. Go ahead.
Just being out here is really cool because I got to learn from people that are older, people that have more wisdom. So it's like I really respect and I really honor what you're doing.
It was great meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. What do you think that?
Someone asked a question. How do you combat that? Could you scroll that for me? It's not working. Anthony says, how do you combat that when they divert votes away from you illegally? You can't. You have to really fight politics yourself. You have to be a good strategist. You have to be careful who you give information to. It's kind of like the Game of Thrones thing. Tell 3 lies and see the path that it follows, and you'll find out who your liars are. And, you know, you just kind of have to really just play the game. It's really a game to be played. It caused me to have to go in complete guerrilla mode. You know, they tried probably about 10 different tactics on me and tried to take me out, but they couldn't do it. Really, if you can find fraud, you would want to look for that, which is what they were trying to do for me, but they couldn't find it. But, you know, that's really kind of the only way. You have to just kind of look for any blips in their paperwork, just find any way to disqualify them as a candidate. And other than that, if you can't find a way to disqualify them as a candidate, you just really need to get very tactical and drum up your votes. I was the only one in my district that was going to doors, and I knocked on personally probably 1,000 doors. So I actually spoke to people. So that's why they realized I was so deadly. It was because I actually meant what the hell I said, and I was going and talking to everyone. I didn't run from Democrats or Republicans at their doors. And, you know, I had a lot of amazing conversations with both Democrats and Republicans, because with the Democrats, you know, you're catching them at their home. They're not around their friends or family. So the honesty comes out, the truth comes out. And, you know, it's really not that hard at the end of the day when you want what's best for people to make that come through. They just really need to meet you, talk to you, feel your presence, feel your energy. And, you know, my challenger and the incumbent didn't do that. So that's why I have so many people still asking me, like, why are you not running? But, you know, my answer to that is fund it and I will run. You got to donate. You know, it's very expensive. It's incredibly expensive to get to campaign. It's exhausting and it's brutal. And if you don't have good, solid name recognition or support, or financially, it's really, really fucking hard to do. Because, you know, this is the biggest gang on the planet. They will come at you with everything they've got if you are a real threat. So I took it as a compliment too. Like, ooh, okay. So this means I'm a bloodhound on the scent. Okay. So we got Trump talking shit on Mamdani, folks.
Who's 33 years old, doesn't know a damn thing. Practically, he's never worked a day in his life. And he sort of caught on, right? And I'm not going to send a lot of money to New York. I don't have to. You know, the money comes all through the White House. And if they're going to be sending us stupid policies, I mean, communist policies, which is proven for thousands of years doesn't work. You know, we don't have to prove it again. We're not going to ruin one of our great cities because we'll make that great. We will clean up the crime in about.
Welcome to BJ Lopez and David Jams. Everybody, if I missed anybody that just joined the chat, welcome.
30 days. Took 12 days to do Washington, D.C., so New York is bigger. And Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago's doing great. Memphis is doing really great. You know, we have great support there from the political leaders. They said, please come in and clean up crime. And we love it. We've in 1 week, Memphis is so good. It's so much better. We'll have it within a month. We'll have that into a safe city again. And all of these cities, we want to clean them up. We don't like that opposition. But if somebody's going to be a communist mayor of New York, it's a fluke if he gets in. There are a lot of failed people that he's running against. I mean, we have failed, you have inferior candidates or something.
There's no strength there. New York it's going to be really interesting to watch what happens in New York. We cannot lose New York. You know, this is kind of like so bad. Like, you're going to see conservatives fighting on behalf of these liberals for their right against these Muslim extremists because they're more conservative than anyone on the planet. And it's just going to be an interesting thing to watch because it's going to be conservatives articulating it because they're the only ones that can do it, that can articulate intellectually. The left has trained them to react and respond emotionally because that's all that party can ever talk about is emotion, emotion, emotion. So that's what's going to end up happening. And if Trump, this is the only way Trump can fight back. You know, he can't stop the people from electing this socialist because that's what, in America, you have that right to run as a socialist and you have that right to vote for a socialist. Albeit that it is truly a fair election, but that's all he really can do is pull all federal funding because even if you just take the Muslim stuff out, if you were to fully adopt a socialist matrix grid platform, it would be an unconstitutional place to live. So that is really the only way he can fight back is by not giving them any money. They would have to figure out how to do it all on their own. And that's what they would do. They're not going to care. They don't want the federal funding because they're so against our government. This is their religion. This is what they die for. They said that there's not enough suicide bombers. So like suicide bombers. What? Not suicide bombers. I was thinking of what is it called with the Middle Eastern people when they kill themselves? When they there's a word for it. Oh well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, what's going to happen is that whole entire city is going to turn into a third world fucking country, a little mini third world country because they're not going to get funding because the federal government won't be able to support that. I mean, it's going to completely collapse their economy. Completely. He's going to ruin everything.
Because it's impossible to think that New York City can have a communist mayor. He's a communist. He's not a socialist, by the way. There's a big difference. He's a communist. He's down and dirty. He's a communist. He hates.
Yeah, he's not wrong there. We should call him for what it is. He's a communist.
Police. He wants to get rid of all police. I mean, how can a policeman? He hates Jewish people, and yet he's got Jewish people.
What do you think happens when they remove the police? Let's look at what happened in Venezuela, Cuba. Where else can we mention? Military guerrilla, quote unquote, law enforcement gets put in place. You get rid of the police, then Mamdani puts in his people to run security for New York. What do you think's going to happen there?
People supporting, hates Jewish people. So it comes through the White House. The funding for New York and for every place comes through the White House. And I'm very generous, and I was always very generous.
See, America is the apple of their eye. Look at all the wealth here. Look at the buildings here. Look at just the structure of America geographically, industrially, commercially, the roadways, the railways. They want to take this shit. They want to steal it like pirates.
With New York, even when you had opposition there, but I was always very generous. But I wouldn't be generous to a communist, a guy that's going to take the money and throw it out the window, because you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars.
And that's why we love Trump,
folks. We're not going to let somebody get into office and squander the taxpayer money from this country. We're not going to let it happen. So it's a little bit like that with, if you take a look, Argentina. If the president doesn't win, I know the person that he'd be running against, I believe, probably. We probably have the person, communist, who's 33 years old, doesn't.
Okay. So I'll have them go ahead and load up this little slide for you guys. Here's some more on my digital ID rant. It still fucking blows, and it's still out there and still coming, folks. Please don't forget about it while they're distracting us with everything else. Digital ID. First, they'll say you need it to work. Then what's next? Look at this list, folks. Okay. First, they say, well, you know, we can't force you to get it because you're a private citizen, but we can force anything that we regulate publicly to require a digital ID. So if you don't want to have a digital ID because of all the risks that come with that, here's what you will be facing can they see my mouse or no? No. Here's what you'll be facing if you don't want to get it. What happens when you need to fly or take the train? Oh, but Mom Dami wants to take out all the ticket meters and everything for the subway. What happens when you want to go shop or when you want to see the doctor or just to drive to get there or use the internet? Oh, go vote. Basically, just exist in society in general. So once it's in place, that it doesn't just stop there, because this moves into the carbon credit system, which China is doing. And they're doing a social credit system where every purchase, every trip, every choice is tracked. You'll only be able to spend within your assigned allowance. See, that's what socialism, the gateway to communism, is. Your assigned allowance based on your carbon credit system. Oh, you're eating too much. You're producing too much methane. You're only allowed to purchase this many more calories. Freedom replaced by rations. Choice replaced by compliance. This is not progress. This is control. They'll make it sound beautiful when they want to introduce this. I love Andrew Verona. Let me tag him. Andrew Verona 12. I love his comment here. It says, the beast will rise with words of peace, but truth will fade and light will cease. He'll mark the hand, he'll mark the head, yet those who bow to him are dead. Stand firm in Christ. Refuse the lie, for soon the trumpet sounds on high. Eternal life for those who hark, but do not be deceived. Don't take the mark. So, yeah. I can tell you as a Jehovah's Witness, talking about the mark of the beast as one of the fundamental things in this whole thing. They told us, like, when I was in the 90s, that it was probably going to be some form of digital ID or a chip in your hand. And I'll be, all these years later, when I get out of that cult and I find out how much they've invested into Raytheon, a war company, I guess they were telling me the truth when they were saying digital ID and microchips were coming. Don't do it, folks. This might mean you may have to die for this. But it's what have your body is just a vessel. Be concerned for your eternal life. All right. Moving on. No Kings protesters are stupid Nazis.
White man came over to America and stole this land from the Native Americans.
We didn't steal
this
anything.
This is their land. Yes, we did.
No. Then why are you here?
Yes, we did.
Then you should leave.
I was brought here by my ancestors, unfortunately.
You can go back.
Guess what? No, I can't.
We will set up a GoFundMe for you.
I cannot. No, you cannot get a citizenship outside of the U.S. In another country unless you have bloodline ties.
You don't have to stay on this
when
stolen
my oldest
land.
graduates, we're leaving.
Where are you going?
Probably Germany because that's where my bloodline comes.
That's where your bloodline comes from?
And that's the only place I can get
very
to.
Good, very good.
That's not
you
here.
would choose to go
She's
to Germany.
so, look at the way she's talking back.
Choose for
but
free
my
healthcare,
bloodline comes
I would
from Germany,
choose for-
and I want to...
The utter clueness on this brunette is almost spectrumy.
go back to Germany. You want to talk about this land being stolen? You know what happened in Germany, man?
You know
you
what?
want to be on that land?
Because-
Up to you. Whoa. You want to be on that?
She seems like she's just the brunette. She's just repeating what she's been told. Like, oh, I have this answer for that thing and this answer for that thing. And she seems. Let me watch this.
Okay.
I gotta watch
this
this
again. You know
again.
what they did to Jews there? That's your descendants. That's up to you.
Apologizing to the Germans.
The Germans.
Well, who wants to get into that one?
Are the victims.
The Germans are the ones who recognize the issues that the Jews had with other people and the entitlement that they had with their religion, and so now.
Ooh, what's she talking about? Yeehaw.
Now they're committing genocide in order to grant a land grab, just like the United States did.
She said we should be apologizing to Germany. I've never seen a Hitler apologist before in my life. Anything else you want to say?
Where they came from instead of taking over a land that didn't belong to them and murdering people en masse.
Ma'am, you could leave the country right now.
And I'm leaving the country in December.
Leave right now. I'll fund it for you. Why would you stand here in stolen land like this? How dare you?
Because I have no opportunity to go until my kids graduate from high school.
Click the like button if you would.
She's got a
fund
logical
ticket for her.
response
We
for
could even
everything.
set up a donation
I
link.
need multiple tickets. I have a family. Thank you.
Yeah, we could fund all of that for you. So message me on Instagram. We're going to set up a GoFundMe.
She's like, America first. Get your fucking ass out of here, bitch. Don't let the door hit you in the ass.
We'll get you as many tickets as you need so you do not have to be here on this stolen land, okay? As I was walking away, she said, you're in a fascist cult. I'm not the one saying we should apologize to Germany because people are, saying terrible things about what they did years ago. So, that's her bloodline. Respect if that's her bloodline and where she comes from. At least she's respecting her family and stuff. So, I can't blame her too much. She respects her ancestors, and how dare people...
Ooh, this is where the truth starts to get muddy. The waters get muddy and it gets hard to figure out what side of the line you're on, right?
Just be so mean to those Nazis. I can't believe it. Her grandpa was probably...
It's a lot, it takes to speak truth sometimes when you're faced with utter ostracism from your community. I've been through that. I know what it's like. Maybe that's what enabled me to be able to sit here and tell the truth despite getting called racist things hundreds of thousands of times this week.
So upset with the things they were calling him.
The white man came over to America.
Okay, let it play.
Stole this land from the Native Americans.
We didn't steal
this
anything.
This is their land. Yes, we did.
No, then why are you here?
Okay, so now that it's started over, I'm going to take this bit by bit. Okay, so curly hair girl, right? We did not steal the land. It was conquered.
Yes, we did.
Then you should leave.
I agree. If you think that we're evil inherently, you should probably leave.
I was brought here by my ancestors, unfortunately.
You can go back.
It's not unfortunately. Like, I am not an ancestor apologist. I will not apologize for anything my ancestor did because I wasn't fucking there.
What? No, I can't.
We will set up a GoFundMe for you.
I cannot. No, you cannot get a citizenship outside of the U.S. In another country unless you have bloodline ties.
You don't have to stay on this
when
stolen
my oldest
land.
graduates, we're leaving.
Where are you going?
Probably Germany because that's where my bloodline comes.
Okay, here's where it starts to get fun.
That's where your bloodline comes from?
And that's the only place I can get
very
to.
good, very good.
That's not
You would
here.
choose to go to Germany.
I would choose
no kings, no.
So there are lots of programs for countries all over the world that you can like go to if you don't have a lot of money to move. She's talking about like being able to like this is
dictators.
Choose for
but
free
my
healthcare.
bloodline
I
comes
would
from
choose
Germany,
for-
and I want to go back to Germany. You want to talk about this land being stolen? You know what happened in Germany, man?
You know
you
what?
want to be on that land?
so she brings up the white girl with the curly hair brings up what happened in Germany.
Up to you. Whoa. You want to be on that land?
So this girl with the brunette did not compare herself to Nazis. So this is kind of like the trap of media sometimes I would have to watch out for when I was running for office. It's people like this quote unquote reporter. She's just making videos like me, really. She's not a real reporter. I don't think people are really ready. Well, maybe they are getting to that point with Israel and realizing how much they have interfered in our politics is waking people up. Maybe they are starting to be ready to have that conversation about Germany. Because if you actually listen to Hitler, if you don't speak German, it sounds kind of crazy. It sounds like just screaming and yelling and like super demonic. But if you actually go back and listen to what Hitler was saying before the Holocaust, when he actually had all the support from his country, like why did he have so much support from all these soldiers? Like how was he able to get a whole country involved in this? And like after hearing the video, like hearing what he's reading, what he actually was saying before the Holocaust, when he got into office and like that whole journey, this man was actually very Christian, very talking a lot about, you know, the things that we stand for as MAGA people. Like, so that's why you hear the left going, oh, they're all Nazis, right? Because of what Hitler stood for at one point. And that's what got him elected. Or I don't know if it was elected, but I can't remember how their politics work. Placed in power. And he had all this support because he wanted to put Germany first. And he was really trying to do what basically Trump is doing about like making Germany great. And he, I think, was preyed on by the elites and was psychologically weaponized, and when that brunette was talking about how Hitler was making people aware of what the Jews were doing in all these countries, she's not wrong. Like I think the Jews have been kicked out of like 109 countries or something like that because of all the swindling. They're like the gypsies, like the Roma gypsies, this certain types of Jews. And so she's not wrong, but it's just fun to watch this video. The headline, "No King's Protester outs herself as a Nazi sympathizer," when she really isn't a Nazi sympathizer. She was just saying these things that can make her look that way. But I still think she sucks because she's protesting against Donald Trump. And if she is trying to speak truth about Hitler and what he was saying before he became corrupt, then how could she be at this No Kings protest? Because he was literally talking about all really great, wonderful things before he got corrupted. So it's just kind of funny to see a king that they claim Trump to be allowing people to go stand all over the countryside and say awful things about him. That doesn't really look too much like a king to me. I mean, my God. Oh, man. Rant over. Did you know that I found out this week that you can't be black and MAGA? These freaking liberals, man, they're the most racist people I've ever seen in my life. There are all kinds of colors to these liberals, and they really, the only thing they know how to say to me is that they should be deported and that I'm too yellow. I should be drinking chocolate milk, you know, like basically taking more black dick or some shit because I'm too high yellow. Like basically a black person being racist to me because I'm light skinned and, you know, prettier than they are. And just a lot of Hispanics trying to, you Hispanics really look down on Mexicans. I've just learned this week. And because you guys that think it's insulting to call me Latin, call me Mexican, and I'm not even Latin, and it's not insulting because I fucking love the Latin culture. So thank you for the compliment. I think Latin women are the most beautiful women on the planet. So, oh darn, you think I'm Mexican. And then people telling me that I don't fit into Trump's America because of my skin color. Y'all are so ridiculously ignorant. I have literally never seen so much racism in my life. I mean, I was born I was in first grade, 10 years away since segregation stopped, and literally the world is more racist now than it was when I was 7. This is the wildest thing to have watch happen. Oh, all right. You can't be black and MAGA. That's what I've learned.
My God!
Wait, what'd you say?
What'd you say? Black and MAGA.
I can't be black and MAGA? Worse. I can't be black and MAGA.
You can't sweat skin because there'll be a lot of blacks who are rolling with the Republicans.
So I can't be black and MAGA.
Oh, you can be black and MAGA. You're a fucking sellout.
Oh.
You're a sellout.
How am I a sellout?
You're a piece of shit.
There you go. That's a white oppressor. He is shaming a black man for understanding what freedom looks like and taking part in it. He wants this black man to go back to being a slave. You heard him? He sold out. You bought your freedom. Even if he actually literally bought his freedom, smart on that person. But like, listen to what he's saying. He's a sellout. How you can't get any more racist than that. This is what the reason why they say they go in these groups protesting against Trump, it's really to show each other, see how racist I am not, because they're trying to cover up how racist they actually truly are, because this is what's coming out of his own thoughts, his own universe in his own head, that this is what he believes that this kid did, selling out. He's born in America. It's the year 2025. Who the fuck did he sell out for? Who to who? If he wanted to be free and break out of the Democratic slave train, I guarantee you that came at a cost, and he lost a lot of his family members, because that's what happens to all of us who are of color who leave the Democratic Party.
I can't have my own opinion.
Absolutely.
I can't have my own opinion.
You are really... It's worse. You would expect that shit from me being white.
Did it start over?
But you hate yourself so much. Oh my! You have so much self-hate that it's sad. Hopefully you'll come around.
You said shame on him?
Shame on him.
Really?
Why
do you feel the need to lecture him as a black man? I mean, you're telling him.
Right. You fucking hate your own skin color.
How?
Do you think that
Whoa.
some people like you?
See, I've been getting this all week. Trump doesn't even like your kind. What the fuck? Do you know how many black women Trump dated? Do you know how many parties Trump went to that were black parties because we know how to fucking party? And all you freaking you-know-whats who don't want to claim me as part of the tribe, joke's on you, bitches.
They hate you. They are using you. You are simply, you exist. People like you.
Are you using white privilege to try to lecture a black man? Is that what's going on right now?
No,
is that what's going on?
Are you using
white privilege to lecture a black man?
What does this white guy know about being black? Nothing.
My white privilege to help other people.
But lecturing a black man.
Right.
Opinion, right? That's an opinion, right? So
this is the real problem, folks. I got treated like this too. Because if you exist, if you're of color or you're gay or even trans and you support Trump, just your existence completely makes their entire narrative, their entire belief system, their matrix fall apart. It breaks it. So they have cognitive dissonance that kicks in, and then they have to project everything onto you because you represent what they hate, and that is freedom.
Bro, but What do you mean chill? He walked it up to him and then scolded him for being black.
Yep.
How is that not what happened? Okay, he's saying shame on him because he's black and wearing a MAGA hat. That's why he came up to him. That's not what happened? Okay. It was crazy.
Yep. That's what's been happening to me all week, folks. They want me.
You walked through the crowd at the waterfront.
Yeah, so I was trying to find the pro-MAGA crowd because, to show support with them and stand with them. And I got caught up in the anti crowd, and I was walking through them. It was very interesting. A lot of dirty looks, a lot of negative comments. But other than that, I didn't engage in any, shit talking. I just kept going, kept walking because, I'm outnumbered. There's only hundreds of people in the crowd. I'm by myself. This black man that's dark skinned with the MAGA hat, with the Trump bandana, and with a Trump 2024 shirt. So you best believe that when I was in that crowd, I just, just minding my own business and just kept walking. But other than that, I'm in support of Donald Trump. God bless our president. God bless our ICE officers, and God bless America. And to all the patriots that are watching this, God bless you, and let's make this country great again, man.
You're the man.
That's the Raging Americans. I do like that page. Raging Americans. Okay. All right. So we are going to look at the chitty chat. Let's see. I thought it was okay, quiet in here, but my chat had froze. Okay. Garen Luce. Nah, homie, you need a big D, own a place, job, and not give a damn. Who you talking to, Garen Luce? But don't you feel that a lot of people have such a bad idea of politicians that it's difficult for them to believe your promises? Well, I am not a politician. I'm not in office. So they shouldn't believe my promises. I'm not promising anybody anything. I'm here to talk about truth. And yes, of course, that's why I'm talking about truth, because I think too many politicians are in it for the glory and the fame. That's what I think. And the power, really. Not really about what's good for their children and their grandchildren's children. Garen Luce, you need APAC, and if you don't, APAC will pay you to get you out. Oh, now I know who Garen Luce is. Am I now being stalked by the I see what's happening. Should we celebrate? Look at this comment. Garen Luce, you need APAC, LOL, and if you don't, APAC will pay to get you out. And also, look at the other message he said. Nah, homie, you need a big D, own a place. Garen Luce has been on my page, on my posts, shit talking, thinking he's being real slick, so he's here joining my lives. Hey, look, you can be on here and shit talk me. Just donate. I'm here for it. If you want the entertainment that makes you feel like shit talking me, that's fine. I'm here for it. Just donate to my show right here. See, at Thirst Trap News, right there on Venmo. I don't know. I hope you're not talking to me about nah, homie, you need a big D. I don't know what that means, but I really hope you are not talking to me like that. Let's see. Federal government is scam, printing money with nothing backing it, yet taxing, so no matter what, you're always in debt. It's a private bank for a reason. The symbols are all over. Trump wants to crash the dollar so he can... Oh, look, Garen Luce again. Trump wants to crash the dollar so he can force digital on everyone. Yeah, I don't think he's very understanding of the risks for digital. I think it'd be really easy to convince him that that's good because, he didn't really dawn on him that COVID was a planned event and he was, rock and a hard place, had to back the vaccine because what do you do at that point? If you say it's dangerous, then they're just going to be like, he's trying to kill us. I don't think he's trying to crash the dollar. He adores the dollar. I think you really need to get to know Trump. Trump adores gold. Trump does not adore fiat currency. So although I see that he likes AI, I know that Trump likes money that's actually backed by something. I bet next month when people complaining no food stamps, he will say, well, if you get this new digital currency, we will front you some money. Maybe. That's a solid point from Garen Luce. Maybe. Ain't nobody steal no land. They made a deal with them. No tax on anything. No property tax. No tax on casinos. They're just selling victims through paintings. You know, I'm really bummed that like they got rid of all the Native American colors. All we have left of the fact that they existed are the names of cities and roads and canyons and national forests. And like when I was growing up in Georgia, their colors, the Cherokee colors, were everywhere. The Native American festival was everywhere. The folk festivals, like there was Native American stuff everywhere, and they've just totally disappeared. It's really sad to actually kind of see they're probably going to go extinct as a people. The North American Native. Okay. Caitlin Bennett. Oh yeah, I asked production to find videos for the governor running for California, but I don't think he did that. Caitlin used to be on InfoWars. Oh, okay. Your thoughts, Anthony asks. So the chosen people, the Jews of Israel, are they cleared to eradicate the Palestinians? Do you know Hitler was a Jew? Yes, I did know Hitler was a Jew. That's why I say I think that he got like MK Ultra'd, and I think that he you know, got turned into a cyborg op. Do I think they're cleared to eradicate the Palestinians? No, I don't think they're. Maybe I think the crown looks the other way. I think that's the reason why they didn't want Donald Trump in office, because Donald Trump's going to look at everything from like an economic position and not like a bloodline position and all of that shit. So I think Trump is going to do what he knows is popular with the people, because, and that's why you have people like me putting all these videos out about Israel. Garen Lewis says, damn, Anthony, you're really smart. It's true. That's why they crashed the system, then put their own in place. First thing he did, sent them to Palestine, Havara agreement. I don't think they're just going to have clearance to like eradicate the Palestinians. It's not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, because when Benjamin Netanyahu spoke at the United Nations a couple weeks ago, the entire all the countries walked out except for Britain and the US. Everyone walked out. So I think Anthony, I'm not an independent. I think at heart I'm like a libertarian if I had to pick like a political side, but really I'm just a constitutionalist at the end of the day. I think we only need the government. It should just consist of the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and any other law making outside of that is needless and oppressive. I'm for defund, deregulate, delegislate, minimal government. Oh, COVID, do you think it was a revenge tactic from the Chinese? I think it was an NWO move. I think it's beyond China. I just think China is a component in it. I think the elites consist of the richest people on the planet, and they're spread all throughout, and I think that's what this was. Johnny boy, hi. Welcome. Irish 1776. Yay, I'm seeing some old names coming in. James Chalk, Roger Burns, Jula Bell, Joe Sure Tom, Stony03. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go on to the next. Trump threatens Israel, but on video this time.
Trump has just threatened Israel and says that America will pull all funding from them. If Israel annexes the West Bank, Trump says they would lose all of its support from the United States. Here's the deal. They voted to annex it. But here's what's weird. Netanyahu's party did not vote for it. And Netanyahu himself does not approve of this. There's people more radical than Netanyahu in his government, and they're the majority. And then J.D. Vance in Israel Today shockingly said that it was a very stupid idea to vote for this, and that it even insults him.
Symbolic. I mean, look, if it was a political stunt, it was a very stupid political stunt, and I personally take some insult to it. Administration is that the West Bank will not be annexed by Israel. That will continue to be our policy, and if people want to take symbolic votes, they can do that.
Trump says that he promised to the Arab countries that the West Bank would not be annexed, but Netanyahu's own government is going to force.
This is why I say what I say. I will always love Trump. He does not let you know what he's going to do. You need to remember, chill out when you see something he doesn't like. Trump probably has the biggest ego on the entire planet, probably more so than Putin, probably more so than Netanyahu. And I don't think Trump would ever let anyone, I don't think he would ever let himself give off the impression to anybody that he was going to be controlled. And I also think with as bold as Netanyahu's getting, it's going to start getting more obvious to Trump what we all know. And I think he's going to start bucking up to him a lot more because he's starting to show it more often too. And Trump's a man of his word, and he promised the Arabs. And you guys got to remember, he has a great relationship with the Arabs with commerce and finance and economics. And like the Arabs have a lot of money. So there's a lot of up and coming countries over there too that aren't extremist countries. And I think Trump's trying to preserve that. Same thing with Argentina. People are like, what about Argentina? That's not America first. But actually it is, because in the grand scheme of things, what that is an investment, because he's protecting our beef system. So he's giving the West a loan in another country to amp up their beef supply so China can't take over, because he's trying to protect the farmers in the West. So that's what the money to Argentina was for. So that comes with terms and agreements and a payback and all that, although Argentina has been known to default on their loans. But whether he defaults or not, what this does for the US for a certain amount of time is it protects our beef industry. So anyway, going back to this.
Force him to do so. Trump has just threatened.
Here we go. So Trump's getting a little bit more punchy with Bibi. All right. Now, you guys know I have a bone to pick with the gender industry because I, had that happen in my home. So, I want to, folks, gender industry exposed, part 1.
I want to spotlight one particularly dangerous gender clinic, and that is Seattle Children's Hospital. Not only does it state that gender interventions are life-saving and puberty blockers are reversible, but it partners with its autism center. Youth with autistic traits are overly represented in the exploding cohort of children and young adults adopting trans identities. They tend not to conform to rigid sex stereotypes, leaving them vulnerable to believing that there's something wrong with them. Combining the autism and pediatric gender centers provides a steady stream of patients for expensive and lifelong gender treatments. Seattle Children's is not alone in this marketing scheme. Seattle's Gender Clinic authored and the AAP published a perspective advancing the notion that refusing to modify a child's sex traits constitutes medical and emotional abuse. Parents who refuse to consent to have their daughter's breasts removed or sexual function destroyed are seen as abusers by the largest pediatric medical society in the United States. And if I recall correctly, Seattle Children's had one of the most prominent booths at the AAP convention this year, where some detransitioners and I were escorted out from our paid-for booth because we dared to try to educate pediatricians. So yes, the AAP knows of the harms, but continues to support gender procedures. I want to spotlight one.
Just to put this in perspective, because I can speak on experience, this matter, living rurally and having been involved with animals for so long, when you spay or neuter a dog really young, before the age of 2, it causes a whole entire body system shutdown slowly over the dog's lifespan, which is now shortened exponentially. It causes diabetes, cancers. When you don't have your hormones to keep your body stable in you, and I'm talking, some vets that are ethical just cut the cords and leave the gonads on both male and female because they need their hormones to develop properly. When you spay and neuter a dog too young, you permanently set them into a adolescent stunted area mentally and emotionally. They don't mature mentally and emotionally. Their endocrine systems go off. Obesity is a thing, and there's a whole slew of other issues that can come also from the dogs not having bone diseases, like I said, cancers. So, this is what we've been doing to living beings without any fucking care in the world. It only was a matter of time before we started seeing our kids as our stuffed animals or our pets. This is ridiculous.
The number of kids being placed on puberty blockers is increasing at an unprecedented rate. These figures here don't include Kaiser Permanente. They are a giant.
Welcome, Tim. Welcome, Paul.
In the trans industry. I think a reasonable estimate is that in 2024, the number of kids placed on puberty blockers is close to 4,000 new patients,
Jesus.
Especially in light of the admission by Director of Boston Children's, Dr. Jeremy Carswell, that puberty blockers are being handed out like candy, which in her mind is great. This, despite her own acknowledgement that puberty blockers are not reversible. Puberty blockers are profitable. The drug Lupron by AbbVie costs around $27,000 for a 6-month supply. A 6-month Supprelin implant by Endo Pharmaceuticals can cost $210,000. UCSF is a leader.
So basically, a kid comes in and says, I think I want to be the other gender. They just automatically say yes because cha-ching.
In altering children's sex traits. Its pediatric clinic was founded and is led by Madeline Deutsch, who also serves as president of USPath. Dr. Diane Aronsaf, who also works at UCSF, teaches that 2-year-old boys who unbutton their onesies are communicating that they're really girls. And girls who dislike barrettes in their hair are really boys. This screenshot is from UCSF's...
Or they just don't like something in their hair.
...website as of June 25th this year. It clearly states that puberty...
My producer has to take his headphones off because it's pissing him off too bad.
blockers are safe and fully reversible. Its consent form states otherwise. First of all, it says that children with trans identities need to have their puberty postponed, that the medication is not permanent, and that blockers treat the trauma.
So they're flat out fucking lying to you. These evil monsters. They worship money. That's their god.
Of unwanted puberty.
The doctors individually themselves are getting brainwashed by the universities and medical systems and the honor societies and the continuing education.
Next, it says the long-term effects and safety of puberty blockers is not completely understood. Bone density will diminish.
I was in the same honor society. I have it right there on my shelf as Judge Amy Coney Barrett, and I have not renewed my membership for the same reason I haven't pursued getting my master's in psychology, because I am not about to just automatically affirm somebody who says that they're gender dysphoric. We have to explore why. Not saying that you're not, but why? We need to deal with the trauma. We need to see if there is environmental causes for this before we determine this is a biological aspect, which is extremely rare. And in the legitimate cases of gender dysphoria, those people know it's a disorder and they live very sad, suicidal lives because they can't make it stop. It's very sad and they need a lot of compassion. But unfortunately, the fetish that has consumed our youth in a mind virus has made the actual real, I don't want to say hardship because it doesn't give it enough oomph. The actual real torture of living with that has been diminished by the disgustingness that has occurred by this push to traffic our children, reduce our population, and make as much money in the meantime as possible.
But is expected to return to normal. Expected? In other words, you think so? Maybe. Then again, we don't know. Oh, and puberty blockers might affect fertility. This consent form directly contradicts UCSF's website. This is purely and simply deceptive practices.
Okay. When you realize how many people were brainwashed into this was like a plan that was set up like years in advance. This is all like, didn't just happen. They make us believe that everything just happened, and it didn't just happen. Trying to communicate something to you. I am about to open the window because I'm about to light me a little JJ, and for the next, the last third of the show. So if you guys just give me 1 second, I'm going to do that. Okay, so, all right, let's look in here and see who is chatting. Just my thought. I will just sit and watch. It's okay, Anthony. You can text in the chat. It actually makes the chat lively and people respond. Let's see. KMS Mongo joined. Dennis joined. Ace joined. 67 Big. Tubby Tree. Welcome. So I don't know, how many of you, what I truly want to know is how many of you actually know somebody who's truly gender dysphoric? I bet you don't. I bet you maybe know somebody that has a kid that says they are, but most of us in reality have not met somebody with real actual like gender dysphoria. Y'all, I am all tangled up. This is what happens when you have a 2-hour show. You get to watch like weird things, and it's live. You get to see funny things. You get to see boredom ensue. You get to see just all the things a live show can bring. I had a podcast before. It wasn't a live show. It was pre-recorded, and we had to do all the, oh my gosh, there is a piece of something sharp in my eye. We had to do all the production ahead of time and talking to guests and all that. But I really enjoy the spontaneity of the live streams, although my makeup's really fucked up and you can't just stop and go fix it. That's the only problem with that. John says, I'm hot. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate it. I've decided it's time for me to take a little smoky break. Miss Mary Jane tends to make me a bit chatty, Oh, and just as a little update, since we're kind of on a pause here, some of you have probably seen my video on my page where I am like absolutely losing my composure and I'm bawling my eyes out. That video, I was explaining, like why I've been kind of MIA in the public eye and everything. And, my health had gone down the tubes really bad. And my daughter wanted to be a man and she ran away from home eventually. So big update is I find where she is. She definitely is with my mom. And my mom is definitely trying to hide that from me. So that's the update on that. The chat. What does the weed do for you? Do you focus more or do you open up with more thoughts? I love that question. So it does a lot of things for me. It got me off a slew of medications for fibromyalgia and which were making me sicker in other ways because, pharma sucks. And cannabis definitely helps me with my trauma. I tend to be very emotionally locked up. I tend to be very quiet if I don't have some sort of stimulation. And is that fan on? And it helps me kind of be more chatty about what's going on inside my head because I can, just like my oldest daughter, I'm very much in my universe inside my head. So it does loosen me up a little bit. It helps me go inward more and stop being so detached. That's how it helps with my trauma. It makes me feel myself again. Like I can feel me. Because, when you grow up abused, you learn to live in a detached state so you don't feel the pain of the trauma all the time. So it brings me back to here and now and me and how I think and feel, and just makes me feel more one with God, honestly. It's a spiritual thing too. Anthony says his job won't allow it. Dang, that sucks. I really think it will never happen federally. Like, there's just too much money to be made with pharma, and cannabis really just kind of cures so many issues that I don't think they'll ever make it legal. I think the world would have to go to shit for that to happen, just like, and have bigger problems to worry about for that to happen. Okay. So, yeah, difficult times, I don't know is the word for it, Anthony. Like, I didn't know until my dad died last year that I lived one of the hardest lives a child could ever live. And I, obviously, as a child, you don't know that because you think everything's normal, so I was until he died that everything just kind of hit, a levee broke and a door got slammed on my face and got no closure and everything just kind of boiled over. And I realized like I was bleeding out all over everyone I loved for 39 years. Unconsciously, I had no idea. And so it's just been a process of like, I did all the mental work waking up, but I did not deal with like waking up emotionally. For as spiritually connected and as enlightened as I am, like it's kind of funny to see that like, oh, you're just now dealing with your emotions. But I haven't dealt with my emotions ever, and it like is the kind of trauma that completely, this takes a lot for me to say, just so you guys know, but it's the kind of trauma that and happens so early that you never have a chance to even form who you are. So only in a year of my life, I've been actually facing not only my emotional makeup genetically, but my emotional makeup as shaped by my environment. And at a year in, hitting a point where I can now identify the difference between the two. And I can now pick and choose the things that I don't like about myself and get rid of those and kind of leave more space for the things that I love about myself and just kind of let those things take over rather than just kind of like looking at only the negative things about myself all the time. But I'm learning things about myself that I just like never knew were there because I just never was taught to ever be me. I was always taught to be not only just what the cult said you should be, but also the preacher's kid. And then, you know, you add in the sexual abuse on top of that. So it's like complete and utter, just like you're commoditized. You are victimized if you open your mouth, even worse. Yeah, it's just like, it's a lot, you know. So the weed makes me feel is the simple answer, I think. Anthony said, "You're a trooper. I see it in your eyes. Chin up, buttercup." Oh, thank you, Anthony. That's really sweet. We could talk. I've been through some shit too. My mom died in December. I am really sorry to hear that. It is never, even though you know your parents are gonna, you know, if all goes well, you know, they'll die before you. It's just never, I don't know. It's different when a parent is gone, you know, because when you're born, they're there. So they're there your whole life. So it's just different. Self-realization is important. Yes, it definitely is. I will say it's not that I'm like, I'm aware of myself to a point where I'm not so different. I'm not. What I've realized emotionally about myself is I've been having to, he just blew that right over here. I've been having to remember who I was as a little girl and kind of let her back in and just kind of, and this show kind of is that. This show is definitely a representation of that little girl in a lot of ways, because, well, one, I'm a chatty Cathy. I like to talk. I love politics. I love what is right and what is good. I love being there for other people. I love life, you know, and I think all the bad things that happen in our lives are so necessary to make our lives be beautiful. And it's what you have to learn, and what everyone has to learn is you have to learn how those bad things make life beautiful, because how can you compare good times in your life if you've never had a bad time? You don't know. Like, it's just is what it is. You could be totally, completely spoiled rotten, never exposed to someone in poverty, and you could think your life was so horrible, and then you go tour the slums or the ghetto and you're like, holy shit, now I have perspective. So that's kind of what I'm saying, is you regain also, I just turned 40, so I think there's like another like level of maturing that's happening too. I think you learn that all these bad things you went through make you a damn survivor, really, you know. And I've been through a lot of really unique, very rare things, and the fact that I'm still here, it would be a shame if I don't talk about it, if I don't tell people the story that I have. It's so crazy. If it was written on paper, it wouldn't be believable. It's like something you have to like hear and feel me talk about, because it's something that I can relate to so many people in so many areas of life. And I think one of my biggest missions is to like help people just get through the trauma we've all just experienced for the last 60 years. How to realize we're all exactly the same. We all feel suppressed, and it's okay to be America first, because what that means is it means love thy neighbor as thyself. And if you're scared of that concept, you should probably move away. You probably shouldn't watch my page. You probably, if you like real culty type talk, keywords, trigger words, if you like real astute language, like this is not the page for you. Like, I talk layman, I talk real. I graduated at the top of my class, flying colors. I'm not tooting my own horn, but like, not an idiot. I just don't talk like somebody who's going to go lord around my intelligence, because I understand that intelligence is only just that. How do you use the knowledge that you have? That's what actually defines you as a person. Because there can be someone with a lower IQ than me, but make wiser choices because they know how to use the information that they have better than I know how to use my information I have. Like, there's a difference in wisdom and intelligence, and you can go around all day long pretending to be like smart. People on the internet love to just fucking spout fact. Everything's about fact now, and I get it, because we don't know what's fucking real anymore. And how I find the truth is you see the wisdom in everything, because the truth isn't just about numbers, it's also about virtue. So wisdom is a higher virtue than intelligence, and you don't have to be Einstein, Socrates, or any of the lot to be much more valuable. Having a big brain doesn't make you smarter, just makes you more intelligent. Intellect has to do with IQ. Smart has to do with wisdom. Cunningness, shrewdness. Okay. You were trying to explain something to me. So what am I announcing now? This one?
You're on Sharia law not compatible with USA.
Okay. Here's the next video, folks. Sharia law not compatible with the United States, folks.
Do you feel like this Sharia law, is that compatible with our country in any way, with the West? I mean, we obviously think absolutely not, but can you explain to us, how do you argue this? How do you explain this in terms of, the bill you're introducing and how you view this within kind of our legal system?
Well, it isn't compatible. And let me talk about it at a high level. I think the reason that people don't speak out.
He just said, let me talk about it at a high level. And I'm just over here. I just got through with a rant about how I don't like to talk on a high level like that. I can make a high level point using words that like an 8th grader can understand.
Out against it. Partly it's fear, but partly it requires them to abandon a belief that most people take to heart, that all people are good, that there is not evil in this world, and that we don't have to fight it every day. And the fact of the matter is, Sharia is a philosophy built on evil, on killing people who do not believe, on subjugating women, on controlling and conquering, and is very difficult. People want to live in their bubble where everything is fine and we can sit around and sing Kumbaya, and that's how the world will work. That's why you see gay.
That's kind of like what you were saying, Anthony. You're a fair man and I'm torn politically. I think everybody at the end of the day, Anthony, is just like, we're centrists. Like, we're just common sense. We're reasonable, common sense. We all want the same thing. We just want to go to work, make our money, provide for our family, relax when we're at home, just enjoy our life, have some entertainment on the side, be able to have fair judicial system, fair elections. I think that's just most people. And I think when you say, I just want people to be treated fairly and with respect, this is why when I was running for Congress, every time, they wanted to make sure to say I was a Republican, or every time they said I was a Republican, I had to make sure to be like, I'm a constitutionalist, because anything past the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence is overreach of power. Freedom is an illusion in this country. And the reason why you're torn politically is because because you're sensing the facade. It's the WWE. It's a uniparty, okay, that has historically existed. Now, Trump did a really good job this go around, really getting people who weren't just loyalists to him, they were loyalists to the United States and the Constitution. That's what he was looking for. And that was conversations I was having very heavy with people in his circle, and why it was so important to me, because they were noticing that I kept making a distinction that I'm a constitutionalist. So this is something that Trump related to. And at the end of the day, that's the kind of leader those are the kind of leaders he wants in office. If you can just stick to the Constitution, you cannot infringe upon anybody else's freedoms or their natural rights, because when you impede upon somebody's natural rights is really when we start throwing temper tantrums. So, it's looking for the people who are running for office who are awake about that this is a spiritual war. This isn't political. This isn't the fucking Hollywood part of politics. You can tell those politicians because they are cookie cutter, scripted politicians. The ones that are called to it are off script, controversial, be it malevolent or benevolent. But the ones that are doing it about what's right, you hear that in the way they talk. They may not be right about everything, but you can feel and sense that what they want is what you just described. Just equal rights for everybody. If you're not harming anybody, leave them alone. Taxpayer dollars go back to the citizens first. Then if we can, we help outside countries. It's just really that simple. And thank you for the compliment. I have a lot going on in my head that I just, feel like I need to just get out.
People out marching for Gaza because they cannot internalize that if they went to Gaza that they would be killed. It is so difficult to internalize that. And if I were to take exception, part of the problem is not radical Islam. Radical Islam are the people who want to not kill us. The radicals in the UAE who've signed the Abraham Accords, or in Dubai. There are Muslims who are radical because they want peace. They want to coexist. The problem is mainstream Islam. And when the NAACP of Muslims, a group called CARE, is actively advocating for Hamas, you have to say the problem is not the radicals, the problem is the mainstream. Now, what my bill will do is say
because the radicals infiltrate the mainstream.
They can't bring their mainstream policies to the United States. They cannot institute Sharia in this country. They can't tell people what to wear. They can't tell people what to eat. They can't blast their call to prayer of conquering at 5 o'clock in the morning. They cannot institute their policies, which, by the way, they are very clear that is.
Or make other people kill Christians. Like, they're trying to convert people. Dude, I saw somebody in my neighborhood. I've been here 5 years in my neighborhood. I've seen this woman several times. It's a white lady. Today, for the first time, I saw her in a, what's that called? Burqa, yes. My heart freaking sank. It sank. I legitimately wanted to cry. I could not believe it. I was like, there's no way I'm seeing this. There's no way that's the lady that I used to see jogging all the time. In my own neighborhood.
Is their goal. One of the most extraordinary things about all of this is you can find video after video after video after video, not videos that have been done with a secret camera that someone snuck in, but they broadcast them very proudly on Facebook saying, we are here to conquer the United States and make it part of the Islamic Caliphate. my bill would stop that, which your husband and 17 other congressmen have co-sponsored and Tommy Tuberville has introduced in the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, 17, that's not enough. We need to have every single person on board. But when I think about this, because you're right, we say radical Islam, but in reality, it's actually quite radical if you are someone who's going against the grain of Islam. So I applaud those people if they're willing to go against the grain. Do you feel like this?
Interesting. Or maybe. No, that's Dinesh D'Souza. His podcast. He just had her on there. That's Dinesh D'Souza's podcast. Okay. So Dinesh D'Souza is now speaking up. That's how real this is getting, folks. Dinesh D'Souza is now chiming in, wanting to make sure all y'all know that Muslim law is incompatible with the Constitution. Oh God, I'm scared for the next video. So
now I know I can find
the Girlhood podcast is apparently for the boys.
It's a huge podcast called Girlhood about girl things and girls' life.
love. I know I can still be a performer. I know that I can have a family. I want to be a mom one day, and I absolutely can.
What am I watching? Ulta, the beauty/makeup company, is facing serious backlash after its company podcast released an episode about the joys of womanhood with 2 biological males.
Is this a joke? And that's why the narrative still has a long way to go, because when I was
Don't forget, Dylan Mulvaney is the fucking sick pedophile who said he wanted to have sleepovers with 13-year-old girls because he identifies as a preteen. Fucking weird rapist pedo. Ew. Oh, sorry, Instagram. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. You think I'm gonna get...
PDF file.
Yeah, PDF file. What did I say? Pedo? I said pedo. PDF file.
That's what they call them, so they don't get on the live PDF.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna have to get used to this friggin' thing. Oh my gosh, I don't like. See, this is what you see what I'm saying about socialism. You see what I'm saying? My speech is being affected. My natural self is being affected right now, so that I can protect getting my message out to you guys, because these sycophants right here. Oh, this makes me so angry.
Leaving boy Dylan, I didn't know those things were even accessible to me.
It's peak 2022 when 2 biological males are explaining the joys of womanhood to women. And the backlash was so bad that Ulta had to turn off the comment.
Ulta kept trying to get me to come work for them. Now I can let you know that I have a wonderful angry text message coming their way the next time they invite me to some sort of networking event, because how dare you have 2 men talking about the joys of womanhood? What happened to women's rights? This is literally attack on women, going backwards on women. And Dylan Mulvaney looks disgusting and creepy. And he looks like one day he's going to harm someone pretty terrible. And watch, someone's going to come out saying that they got raid by him. You know? I don't even trust that no more. But if you speak pig Latin... Oh my God.
One user likened Dylan...
This just pisses me off. You know... We have men now so jealous of women because women have gotten tougher than men, because there's so many bitch men who can't compete with real men. They have to put on fucking dresses instead of daddy staying at home and raising his babies. You let mama fucking do it all by her fucking self. And now we have a whole bunch of boys that are traumatized and aren't protective, aren't masculine, and so confused and damaged, and want to go victimize other people in the process. Stop knocking people up outside of wedlock. Forget wedlock. Outside of meeting your soulmate. Like, be responsible. Don't put a condom on. My God, it's not that hard. It saves so much money, so much heartache. Because we need to stop the mass murdering of babies because men don't want to be home and take care of the babies they've procreated. Life isn't sacred anymore to people. The miracle of birth and procreation is like, oh, pish posh now. It's just, we're just fucking. You know, we're not thinking about what we're actually doing, mixing essence that carry DNA. I'm not saying you have to be married to have sex. I'm saying, Jesus, be picky. Be picky about it. Did you know that the mother carries the fetal cells of her babies forever, and those fetal cells go and repair the mother's injuries through her life so she can live longer for those babies to keep them alive? And that is God. That's not haphazard evolution. God may have designed things to evolve, but with a mathematic code that is pointed at trajectory of improvement for survival, species survival. So whatever it takes for species to survive. That's the only program running. Everything else is perfect. All this is going on. Except we have this evil demon that's running around chopping men's wee-wees off and emasculating men in the West. Thank you, Riffmans. But yeah, we need masculinity to rise again because we need you men to be brave and bold to teach your sons and grandsons how to be men who are protective of women, the feminine one, the weaker vessel who should be honored and adored, so that way you get the honor and adoration in a woman's adoring eyes when she looks at a man who is capable of violence on her behalf, but chooses to be gentle with her. You will get the worship out of a woman that way. But you have to be men. You have to remember you are men capable of violence. Where is it? Fight for what is good. Where are you men allowing all of this to go on? Where are you men standing up for women? Where are you men not putting down and humiliating these freaks of these male freaks? Why do we not have you in hordes? Because you guys have gotten scared on a mass level. And us women, my daughters, my granddaughters need you to pay attention to that fact. Focus on your sons and grandsons. Be there if you have a kid, even by oops. Do it. It's not that hard. You'll fall in love harder than you ever could have imagined for that little being. And you will learn what is called unconditional love all in a moment like this when you see your baby's face. And no one on the planet can ever have. You can never feel that for anyone other than your child. And it's just a natural response. And it makes you become a certain person that understands morality. And all of a sudden you look at the world differently because now your child is wandering around in this world. So stop forgetting your seed. And if you don't want to marry the girl, maybe don't nut at her and be responsible. If you have a problem getting drunk and doing that, work on your drinking problem. Because we have to get ourselves together psychologically for our children. Hello. Ugh, you guys, I am on a rant. All right. So sorry about the name. I breed ball pythons. Riffman balls. Actually, I wasn't judging you. I was here for it. Riffman balls. I thought it was funny and I was going to make an inappropriate joke, but then decided I would probably be mean. So I didn't. But now I wish I did because it would have been funny. But I think it's great. And I had a ball python named Paco for 5 years that my 4-year-old picked out at a convention, and I was not prepared to get a ball python. And he was the sweetest noodle, and we love and miss him so much. John BK says, I'm that man. Yes, the men that like, I love Florida. That's where I'm at. There are men down here. There's something about a Southern man. And I hope that this exists around the country. I haven't traveled much lately, but I think us women, just primally, like when you see a man out in a crowd, like physically defending the helpless, I mean, that is the biggest cream moment ever. We love seeing violence done in the name of holiness, because a man that is a machine in that way is a beautiful thing to watch, but you got to take it out on who deserves it, right? But like to see chivalrous men make a resurgence, it takes having a chauvinistic mindset in the West for the Western society. I don't mean that in terms of the oppression of women. What that means is preserving the traditionality of the woman being the weaker vessel and a man having the duty to where even if he is in public, if he sees a woman in distress, it is his duty as a man to be there. I expect nothing less from my husband. My husband, he knows if I were to find out some woman was in distress in his presence and he didn't try to help her, I would be like, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, but I don't have to be that way because I don't choose men that aren't like that, So it lets you know about the goodness in their heart, because that's what you guys are built for. You're bigger, stronger, faster. You use one side of your brain at a time. It's much easier to boom, when the moment hits, you do what needs to be done. Like women, we use both sides of our brain at a time. We just go, we're thinking about option D all the way till really fast before you guys even got to one. So we tend to go for the more diplomatic solutions. You know what I'm saying? So, because we're smaller, and I think women are pretty deadly too. I just think we know we're smaller and at a disadvantage, so it makes our brain, we've adapted differently. And I think women, you have to be much more careful of psychologically, whereas men, it's physically. Men are pretty simple, pretty much know where they land on stuff. Women are the more calculating of the two. Yeah, let's finish that video.
Mulvaney's appearance to, quote, woman face. Another user said, why didn't you get a woman on? We are your primary target market, are we not? The ladies of Twitter have spoken, and they are not happy.
Now I know it.
You know what? I don't even remember what the video was about. I didn't even pay attention to the end. Oh, yeah, because that freak, man, I put him outside of my head. I cannot stand that man. I hate that man. That man is a PDF file. Let's watch this crazy video of a cop shooting a motorcyclist who crashes on live TV. Is this graphic?
Yes. But
okay.
The guy in the motorcycle shot a cop and is trying to escape.
I'm just asking. Okay, this video is graphic, so if you're trigger warned, need a warning, there it is.
You can see this rider clearly is very comfortable with the way they are handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. Right now, it looks like he's boom. That's exactly what I was talking about. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow. It wasn't the way his body was handling the motorcycle. It was where his eyes were looking. Damn, yo. Oh my God.
Comfortable with the way they are handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. See? Right now, it looks like he's
not looking.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow, we didn't see that coming. That really came out of nowhere as we were watching this motorcyclist.
Oh, he was running from the cops.
Comfortable on the bike there.
Believe me, they're going to take that suspect. He's still moving. That is a plus. They are definitely going to take him into custody. It did look like the motorcycle.
I just want to say that guy's a racer, though. He knows how to fall. He went limp.
Michael did land on top of him once he was on the ground. Now, I have to say, you got a number of officers down there. I can guarantee you they're going to stop the freeway, but they're also going to start calling for paramedics. They're already calling for paramedics.
Catch the latest.
So this guy shot at a deputy, accused of shooting at a deputy, crashed into a car on a live TV police chase in California. It's always California or Florida where the crazy shit is going down. So he was shooting at a sheriff's deputy in Rancho Cucamonga and was arrested after a freeway pursuit. Is this guy alive? This guy survived. I'm not surprised he survived. He was probably on drugs. Also, this is why in Florida they do not chase you. They just come get you when you go back to bed. In Florida, they will not chase you down. If you want to run from the cops, they're going to be like, okay, that's fine. We'll just come nab you in your bed tonight. Don't worry. Which is smarter because they're not going to risk killing people. You know what I'm saying, on a chase. But I will tell you, Florida is a no helmet state, and you guys need to stop it with the not wearing helmets. I have seen brain matter going 25 miles an hour. So put the damn helmet on, for crying out loud. Daytona is so big with Bike Week. Put your helmets on. You look cooler with them on. Newsflash, you look less cool with them off. Okay. This next video, did you guys know this dog? He hates decorations. They're cats.
Maverick.
One with the Halloween decoration.
He's got pointer in him. You can tell. He's like, shit, it's right there. It's right there. He's pointing right at it. Frozen. That's some. He's got half pointer in him. That's some good pointing genes. My God. Frozen. I'm impressed. This better not be a freaking statue, dog.
Maverick. Hey, come on. Mav.
He's waiting for the cat to run. That's what it is. That's that pointer behavior too. They're waiting for the cat to run.
Okay, dude. Hey, come on.
Yeah. If that cat had moved a muscle, he would have nabbed it. I'm telling you, he was focused like a soldier. Woo-wee. That's a bird killer. Retrievers, there's more incidents with pit bulls get all the news because they're muscular and flashy, but retrievers and herding dogs, oh yeah, way more bitey, folks, way more bitey. Ugh, I don't know what he's about to bring up, but I just saw something gross. Oh my gosh. So now I understand the freaking line for this video. Oh, get your vagina mops ready. It's about to get wet. Incoming hard, buddy.
He just randomly shuffled my feed with 9 likes.
He's got 9 likes, folks.
Your lips on mine.
Oh boy.
I'll take you slow, then cross the line.
Oh. All right. Well, I feel bad because he has a foot deformity, and I've actually done research on it, and it comes from like the Jewish population. It's like with the shin and the knee and it's like the whole foot assembly from knee to shin, I think. But I give this man props for trying and being brave and good for you. And honestly, I'm hope that I have that kind of motivation when I'm older, because I don't think I even have that now. So go Dale plug 04K. Jesus. What are you guys giving me? All right. Who says dogs are needy? Oh. Yeah, we don't have to use TikTok anymore. I hate TikTok. Oh, hell. Oh my gosh, I have one like that. But hold my hand, please. I have one that does that to my leg. Oh, look at the baby dogs. Oh, oh, play with me, play with me, play with me. Hey, fuck your laptop. That's my toy.
I don't want it.
Oh, we have a puppy that looks like that. She's free if you want her.
Play with me, Daddy.
Hey. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey. Hey. Aww. Oh.
Can I help you?
This guy. Get out of my face. Excuse you. And this guy. That would have been discipline in my house. Especially number 2. Number 2. Number 1 would have got laughed at and I'd have been sassy back at him. But number 2 would have got a whole ass smack down. I don't think so. Not in the kitchen. You ain't acting like no damn fool in my kitchen. I have 6 bullies. Okay. 600-pound dogs. They listen to me like that. Militant. I don't, because they like to be clowns. And they like to be involved in everything you do. And you have a herd of them. They move like an amoeba. All of them in a group ahead of you. And it is like, if I were to be robbed, you die before I even have to get my gun, because my 6 dogs would tear you to shreds or form a wall around me. They would probably move like a pack because they're pretty, they'd probably form a wall and then others attack. Yeah, because I can't move without my dogs protecting all of them everywhere I am. So I have to keep my dogs out in free time in rotation because I have none of my dogs are altered. They're all natural, so they're not fixed. So like sometimes only females can be out, only males can be out because some females are like in season. And then other times like I have to have one female out with one boy, and it's just like, you have to play the Tetris game because, you gotta minimize fighting over females. Because dogs don't know that those are like their sisters and aunties. They just know, oh, there's ladies around. Now we gotta show them who's strong. So it's like this Tetris game. I don't have all the dogs out if my husband's not home because these dogs are huge. But not that they don't listen to me. I'm just, why even take the chance? But dogs are freaking hysterical. They're like having 3-year-olds. They're 4-year-olds. They're pretty freaking smart. I have one that he is sassy and zesty. I think he's gay. And he's quite the actor. He should be in a Grecan play. Like he's full of posing and modeling, and he does all the dog communications like at its finest. Like he would make the perfect show dog. His name is Elixir. I love him. He is adorable. All right. That's all I got for you. If you enjoyed my show tonight, please go to my Venmo. Donate Thirst Trap News. I have to pay off equipment, man. These things don't come free, All right. I will see you in 2 days. Be looking out. Good night.